Hi everybody, it's Joni here. Welcome back for another video. Today I'm going to show you how to paint a dreamy seascape on a 10 by 20 double primed and stretched canvas with the following colors: titanium white, luminous yellow, luminous red, sap green, Prussian blue, phthalo blue, and bright aqua green. The brushes I'll be using today are a number 50 filbert brush just for working the background. Then I'm going to come in and use a 1-inch mop brush, a 14 filbert brush, and a number 3 round brush. These brushes are available on the site listed below this video, and my paints as well. So let's jump in and get started. What I'm going to do is add a little bit of water to the canvas. This will help the canvas take the paint better and will be easier to blend our acrylics out. We can start coming in with our first color, and that's going to be the phthalo blue. So I'm going to take some phthalo on the end of this brush, and I'm just going to pull back and forth, blending that into the canvas. That little bit of water really helps. Okay, then I'm going to take some white and a little bit of phthalo blue without rinsing my brush out, just both of those colors, along with the leftover Prussian blue. I'm going to mix that in, adding it first below and then just working it up. And we'll have our horizon line right there, so about 1/4 of the way down the canvas. Okay, now what I'm going to do is take some white and I'm going to turn my brush this way, and I'm going to add a few little wiggles for clouds, like that, right over to a dry mop brush. And with our mop brush, we're just going to soften and just sweep up or on an angle. Play around and experiment, because you can get a lot of beautiful outcomes with using a mop brush like this. So this just helps the sky look a little softer, dreamier. Just have those thin, see-through clouds. Now you can wipe off the excess paint going around in little circles on your towel. That'll make it nice and dry again. Okay, that looks really soft. I'm going to come in with my filbert brush now and add another layer. Applying little gentle scoops like this. Okay, before that can dry, I'm going to take my mop brush and add a little bit of a curve to make these sweeping, and then I'll come around this way in different directions like that. Okay, I'm going to let that dry, and as it's drying, I'm going to take my filbert brush and I'm going to come and sweep along the horizon here. I'm going to take both of those blues with the end of my brush, Take a little bit more with a little bit of water this time, just because the canvas is starting to dry now. Okay, we'll add a little like that. Then I'm going to take some turquoise and I'm going to go right under that. I'm going to leave a space there for an island. I'm going to rinse my brush out, add some white and turquoise. And we're going to come in with some darker spots. Add a little bit of Prussian blue, phthalo blue, and we're just going to sweep in some strips like this. Think of them as kind of flat ovals or rounded rectangles. I'm going to get a little bit closer here and bring this in a little bit narrower. I'm going to take the rest, turn my brush over like this, and wiggle just above the horizon. Just gives it a little bit more of a blending. Okay, then I'm going to take some white, mix that in, a little bit of turquoise, take a little bit more of the white, crisscross or figure eight to mix and load. Okay, so this is going to be our little island right here. So it's going to get a little bit shallower there. So adding that light color makes that a little shallower. And then we're just going to gently pull back and forth. And then wider right here. Let's go ahead and add a little bit more green and white. And we'll come up here. Take some more white. All these little wiggles, sliding, it's going to give us some movement and some color. Okay, I'm going to rinse my brush out and we're going to dry this off. Okay, using my number 50 filbert brush. It's a little bit damp just from washing it. I'm going to go into turquoise. Okay, just a little bit of paint like this, and we're going to pull from the edge towards the shallower spots here. Once we get here, we'll let off. So a little bit more pressure here, pull. So for that shallow Caribbean looking turquoisey water, you don't really need to have a lot of paint. But the important thing here is look how we've created these, the depth in the water by applying the dark patches first, drying them off, and then coming over top with this color that gives you depth. Makes it look a little bit more 3D. Now for a little bit more saturation, you can choose 1 or 2 spots to add a little bit more of the turquoise or even a little bit of phthalo blue if you wanted. But I really like this color here, so I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to just add a light little sweep to create a glowing effect above the horizon line. Okay, what I'm going to do now is take my filbert brush. I'm going to add a little bit of red, a little bit of yellow, gives us a nice sort of bright pink shade. I'll wiggle my brush around. Bring that out a little narrower on either side. This is where the water and the sand kind of mix together and you get that little bit of gentle waves coming up. So you can see a little bit of it through. Notice I'm not using a ton of paint. Take just a little bit more of that pink. I think I'll end up calling this painting Pink Sand. Gonna add little highlights in the water like this. It's gonna be a little bit of, you just want to load the end of your brush. So once you mix the paint up, get it on the edge of the brush, very tip. I love the sort of lacy patterns the water makes with the foam and all the little designs. I'm just gonna add a little bit white here So it's a bit too red. Okay, I'm just gonna blend out a little bit of this. Now remember, if you want your water to look calm, keep the lines flat. If you want to create more movement, then you'll go up. Bring little bits of height in with your sweeps and pulls. Now I'm going to add a little bit of red, yellow, and white. Just dry brush, mix the paint on there and hardly have any at all. And I'm going to add little touches of this to the clouds. Okay, I'll carefully add a little bit more where I want those clouds to glow. Now I'm going to add a little island here. I'm going to take green and blue. And I'm going to add it just up here, a little bump like that. I'm going to take my mop brush and I'm going to mix some green and some yellow together. So it's kind of this really warm shade of olive green. And I'm going to gently just pinch, placing my finger partially on the ferrule and partially on the bristles. And I'm going to tap in some trees and bushes and lush island tropical life back there. Okay, then I'll take a little bit of white, tap that in, so it's going to be a little bit lighter. And we'll leave a few spaces for some dark areas to stay, and add a few lighter ones like that. I'm going to rinse this brush out. Okay, when you rinse this brush out, squeeze out the excess water first, and then just go around gently in little circles. I've only found that this works right away with my brush line. It's a nice bonus. Already beautiful brush, and then it dries really quickly, so you can use it again right away. Okay, I'm just going to clean up this green where it kind of spilled over onto the sand and the beach. Take that off. Okay, just pull that out. I'm going to make a little bit of purple, blue, red, and white. Now you can use the phthalo blue or the Prussian blue. I'm using the Prussian blue right now. But either's fine. I'll mix in a little bit more white there. Soften that. And I'm going to add a little bit of this back here. And take a little bit of white in there just to make the paint a little creamier, and it'll soften that a little bit as well. So this just gives us some subtle shadows using a complementary color. Load the end of the brush. You can come kind of in here at the base of those trees and bushes. And just that little hint of purple like that is so nice. It adds just a little something extra. Sometimes those little touches are what bring a painting all together. I'll add a little bit to the clouds as well. And I'm going to use my round brush to add a couple little palm trees. And let's take some green and blue, maybe a little bit of red as well. Just a dark color is all we need here. And then I'm just going to add, with the tip of my brush, a few little lines. Little arch like that. One here, one here. Don't make them too big. You want this to be really small and feel far away. I'm going to add little dabs of this here and there to create more depth. Now I chose to add a little bit of red to make this more complementary with the green, even though it doesn't look red right now. The green will know and recognize that there's red in there. I don't know how it works, but it just does, and it'll be more complementary. I will add, just before I wrap this up, I'm going to add a little bit of white and pink to the water for some more foam. And I'm going to apply this a little bit thicker. Once I mix it up, I will twist and gently pull to work that paint out of the phthalo part and just towards the tip of the brush. So these little wiggly loops, and then some thin little lines like this. Squiggle this way, squiggle that way. Think of like little M shapes. Okay, a little M this way, little M this way. Okay, I've really enjoyed painting this. I'm glad I got to show you all how to as well. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thank you for being my Patreon members. Wishing you guys all the best in your art journey, and thanks for being part of mine. See you soon. Bye.